Hello, present or I'm gonna introduce you to my final project. I'm gonna talk about handball. It's a popular sport here in Spain, and also it's a very important sport inside the school and one of the team sports that you have to practice during your secondary time. No? Uh, first thing that we have to do is in this session. I'm gonna plan a session, handball session for the beginners, and first thing that they have to do is to think about what we're going to do and what do I expect from this session. Okay, I'm going to try to discover Hamel for my students from first of ISO, and it's one of the most popular sports in our country, but it's very competitive and complete sport. During this season, we will talk about handball rules, and we're going to practice handball using English as a vehicular language. Uh, I just expect to have some fun with my students and to learn basics of this new sports and learn new English vocabulary inside my what we wanna see in when we were talking about our objectives, competence, objective, and skills that I want to work. I think we have to talk about twice different things about linguistic competence. Well, sorry, but we have to talk about competence first. Uh, about linguistic communication because we're gonna talk with each other and we're gonna talk during the session about our teammates, and we have to have also digital competence because our students have to search digital sources to show it inside the Padlet. Because I'm gonna ask them that they have to search using internet or whatever to search about handball and what and I want to see what they can't find about handball. Also, we have the competence of learning to learn. The students have to think about what they were learned during the session, and they have to think what they learn, and it's interesting to metacognitize, and let's gonna see what will happen after the session. Social and civic competence also is worked because the students must consider the best way in order to interact with the other mates. Cultural awareness and expression. Sports are a cultural expression very important for students' development. Our objective of this session is linguistic. They are two different objectives. One is talking about linguistic objective. In this case, we will talk about present simple that will be acquired during the session using humble vocabulary, and content objective that we're gonna discover humble basic and rules. First step, uh, I will ask to my students that they talk about, or they try to search about what they know or what they can find about Humble and its rules. Let's gonna see what happens, and I try to explain them that they have to looking for about Humble and try to put this inside the Padlet. Of course, they have to find something different from each other. For example, I try to show an example. Humble learnings, humble the learn the basics. It's a popular video in internet that in this video you can find simple speak explanation about all the humble basics. For example, best of humble, maybe video with different kind of situations in humble, different kind of throws, different kind of save by the goalkeepers. You can find something very different, and it's interesting to know what they can find about the topic and what they can find about all that we will talk about in class in our session. I show in a few videos from this topic. You can find also. I choose these videos because I think the first thing that you have to do is to get a simple explanation because uh, maybe one of the biggest part of the of my students maybe don't know about humble sport anything, and it could be interesting to introduce them using these videos and using Padlet environment. I try to put the task to make four different tasks. Also talking about the taxonomy, Bloom's taxonomy, using first trying to remember, try to understand all the contents, trying to use this one talking each other. After that, try to uh, analyzing, evaluating, and the first thing that try to create something uh, about what we were learning. First task that I thought is to talk about humble vocabulary. It's related with remembering and understanding all the contents. Uh, I will use vocabulary with image, talking about all the words of humble sport. I think it's the most important. We were talking about in our sessions, in our clear sessions, about the importance of the image inside or close to the vocabulary, because our students couldn't understand better all the things that we want to talk about. Mm, first we have to watch. I propose to watch a video with simple words and image, and then write the vocabulary that you can understand. I'm trying to ask my students that what you understood from the video. After that, talk each other about humble vocabulary, and and you done. Let's share the knowledge of humble vocabulary, talking each other, and then my function and is getting some key grammatical keys, phrases to be used by the students during the session and repeated too much. For example, I want to talk about present simple, and for example, simple phrases like you pass me the ball, you throw the ball, you score a goal, you save the goal, you dribbling the ball, and I try that to repeat all the time, and to to be sure that they understand what they are talking about. Second step, it's let's practice. Let's have some fun. Warm up using different kind of mobility exercises, passing the ball by pairs, dribbling the ball and trying to stall the teammate's ball, throw the ball to score a goal using handball rules. Just few exercises to introduce handball, to discover handball, and finally to playing a match with our teammates, try to use humble vocabulary to ask the ball. For example, during the session, the students have to express his intention, their intentions, using English with the weapons that the teacher gave you. Third task is talking about. Let's talk about the match. What was happening inside the match? What happened during the match? What you did during the match? Using the present simple to describe it, because we are working around present simple. It's one of the content objective. And final, what you learn from the humble session. Let's gonna think about it. Let's gonna try to evaluate and to think about all the to evaluating what we were did, and also to create, because we wanna ask them, right, what do you think you learn during the session, and how do you think you did it? How do you think you did, and how do you took this knowledge, and let's talk about it and write it using the present simple. And I think it's a very interesting session for students to introduce a new sport. And of course, I have to prepare as well as I can all that I'm gonna offer to my students, and nothing else to say. Thank you so much. I'm sorry sometimes for my words, or maybe I don't know if I always using the best words in the best way, but of course it's an interesting final project to think about it. Thank you so much, and see you in the next week.